Oh, hello. It's you. Well, probably time I stop slacking anyway and get on with that game room tour as promised. So anyway, guys, I'm feeling good. I've got the new shirt, pop the collar, fucking fancy as, 5-star. But anyway, gaming is my passion. I can't wait to show you guys a tour of all the stuff I've picked up over the years. I've been playing games since I was a little kid. I used to play them with my parents, my mum and my dad. And that really inspired me to get into it and see it not just as a form of entertainment, but an actual art form. I'm super passionate about all of it. Just the last thing I want to say is, it took me friggin' ages to set up my room after moving into the new house, but finally it's done. I just can't wait to show you. And the thing I want to say is amiibos. I've got every single one ever made. Yes, I do, and I don't have the room to display them, so they're put away for now. But if I get enough like and support from this video, I will show all of them off in one video in the future. But until then, I just want to say to you guys, I collect for every single game console. I don't discriminate. Well, I do like Nintendo the best, but I collect for all of them. New, old, whatever. I can't wait to show you. So sit back and enjoy the game room tour. Cool. Okay, so starting us off on this side of the room, we have just a couple of console boxes up there, and just some collector's editions. So this is my Switch collection so far. So I'll just show you guys a couple of good games that I think from the console itself. So this is one that I've been playing a fair bit lately, Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. It's pretty good. It's probably the best Dragon Quest game I've played personally. It's really good RPG. And another one I got to give a shout outs to is Undertale for the Nintendo Switch. Now I've been playing this digitally. It's amazing. It's got a very good sense of humor. It's very reminiscent of Earthbound and stuff like that. It's an RPG, but just with weird over the top jokes. There it is there. So if you haven't played that, I definitely recommend checking that one out. Okay, and just some other standout ones from my Nintendo Switch library would be Saturday Morning RPG. Really good game. It doesn't take itself too seriously. This is actually developed and made, as far as I know, by Limited Run and Mighty Rabbit Studios. A really fun game. Over the top. It's kind of relatable. But yeah, I would say the Switch would probably have to be... it would be in my top 3 consoles of all time. Okay, so lots of good titles here. I would say this one would be one of my favorites as well. Planescape Torment and Icewind Dale. Now, I haven't played Icewind Dale, but I did get the original Torment on the PC, and this is one of my favorite games. It's just got such a good story. The new one is even better, I would say. It came out on Xbox and PlayStation. Okay, and then just at the end here, we have just some spare controllers or Joy-Cons. This is the last game I picked up here, Siberia Trilogy. Haven't actually had time to put that in yet. Just some StarCraft random battle chests I picked up for like half price. Never actually played StarCraft. We got Axiom Verge sealed back there, and Bravely Default in the box there. Okay, now moving on to the Xbox Classic, or the original Xbox. I don't really have much, but I would say I have a few good quality titles. So this is probably my favorite game on the whole system, and that would be the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind Game of the Year Edition with all the DLCs. It's a really good game. I mean, it has aged quite badly, considering. But yeah, the story is basically unmatched since then. I mean, I really did like Oblivion. And just a couple of standouts here, guys. Oh yeah, Conker, everybody knows about that. Oddworld, Mortal Kombat, Knights of the Old Republic, really good game. Ooh, Metal Slug. So this is the old school SNK Neo Geo games. Metal Slug 2, 3, or all of them are. It's just a really good co-op 2D shooting game. It's kind of like a Contra in a way. But yeah, anyway, it's a lot easier than Contra, but it's just really fun to get some buddies together for some 2D adventures. And the boss fights in it are really good. I love that 2D art style. Okay, so that's another standout from the original Xbox, I would say, would be the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy. It is quite hard to get on the Xbox. There's a lot more on the PlayStation as far as I know. Alright, now moving on to the PlayStation 3 section. Now, I'm not much of a PlayStation 3 guy. I didn't really get into it until the very last minute. Literally, I paid, I would say, $100 for my PlayStation. That's how little they were worth at that time. Just some extra PSP stuff here. I do have a main PSP shelf, but this is my overflow. Okay, so just some standouts, I would say, from my PlayStation 3 collection. Arcana Hearts 3. Now, this is an all-girl fighting game, 2D. Really, really fun. I believe I got a steal on that one. It's not worth much anyway, but such a good game. Ni no Kuni, the original for PS3. Now, this only came out on the PS3 when it launched. There wasn't any Xbox version, so happy to get this one. It's such a good game. It's very similar, I would say, to like Pokemon, with like the art style of Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, however you say it. Yeah, very beautiful game. Quite addictive, very fun. And go around capturing creatures. Anyway, so I would say another standout for the PlayStation 3 would be Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. This originally did come out on the Gamecube, the single story, but in this one you actually get the original story there, and the Dawn of the New World. Okay, so it's a little bit of an extra thing thrown in there. I would definitely recommend playing it if you haven't already. Such a good role-playing game from back in the day. Dragon's Crown. Now, this did come out on PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita. It's a 2D role-playing game with cool graphics, cool boss fights. Yeah, you can have up to 4 people, couch co-op. That's so cool. Yeah, it's a really good one. Ooh, Heavy Rain. I'm actually going to check that one out next. I've heard really good things about that one. It's kind of like a Telltale type game. A bit of overflow. Just UMDs from my PSP stuff there. Okay, so this is my Blu-Ray shelf. I don't really need to display Blu-rays in a gaming room as much, in my opinion, so I've just put my fighting stick here. Because I reckon it looks nice and cool just out there on display. And then moving on to the bottom shelf, this is where I keep all of my books. I have a lot of gaming books, strategy guides, you name it. Even books for like the lore of Skyrim, things like that. But yeah, this is probably my favorite book. This was a Kickstarter book, and I actually backed it. And it has the complete Super Nintendo collection, every single game ever from all the countries. So that really helps, as it is my favorite console ever. And just some random Zelda books there. And oh, I know this one, Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's definitely a hard one to get. So yeah, it was a cool little one to pick up there on special. But I hope you guys did like the books. Alright, now let's move on to, I would say, my favorite shelf. Alright, the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 shelf. Unfortunately, I've only got around 15-20 Super Nintendo games, but I am collecting complete in box. Some standouts for me would be Super Mario RPG, amazing game. Harvest Moon, that's my favorite game on the whole system because of nostalgia. Zelda, of course, A Link to the Past, one of the best Zelda games ever made. That's just the modded one I've showed off in a previous episode there. Parallel Worlds with Zelda, really good one. Secret of Evermore, great game, great RPG, same with Illusion of Time. Mystic Quest is like a basic Final Fantasy, but still a good game. Happy to have that one. Obviously Super Mario World, it would be my favorite two-dimensional Mario game ever. And the sequel to that, Donkey Kong 1, Still trying to get the Donkey Kong Trilogy. What else we got here? Super Metroid, Battletoads, Black Hawk. Yeah, and then it basically stops here, and then the rest is Nintendo 64 games. And with my Nintendo 64 stuff, I basically picked all of it up in one haul from my game hunting, except this one I had from my childhood, Pokemon Stadium. So hopefully in the next year I'll be able to fill in this shelf completely with boxed Super Nintendo. That is my goal. Alright guys, now moving on to the Xbox One section. Now what I did, I just put a couple standouts like here of my favorite kind of games. I just think it looks better on display. Obviously this game here, Cuphead, if you haven't heard about it, it's amazing. It only came out digitally, but they were nice enough at one of the EB stores to give me the empty case because they know I'm a collector and I will annoy the hell out of them until I get the things I want. Just got Fallout in there as the collector's edition's annoying to handle. And my download code for the game. Awesome. So hard, that game. It's like Contra. Oh, there's nothing on the back. It's so good. It's like a 1930s art style. So if you haven't checked that one or seen it, definitely check it out. Just some standouts for the Xbox One. I would say here... Here we go. Torment. This, to me, is my favorite story I have ever seen in a game. Ever. The combat... Look, the combat's not great. I'll be honest. But the story is incredible. It's basically the world 5 billion years in the future, and all these civilizations have built up, been advanced, and been conquered or destroyed or died out. And then there's remnants of the past everywhere you go. Some still working, some not, and it's just... You have to unravel the mysteries. Such an amazing game, guys. Alright, and just a few random ones here. Elix, that's a really cool one. Really weird, really out there, but made by THQ Nordic. I actually love that dev team. A lot of people don't, but I do. Okay, Stardew Valley. This is really cool. This is like Harvest Moon up there for the Super Nintendo. It's basically the predecessor. Like, it's a love letter to that game, is what I meant to say. It's fucking cool. Like, even the art style, the 2D graphics, the 16-bit, like, it all looks very Harvest Moon-esque. Can't recommend this game enough. Unfortunately, if you do want it on Nintendo Switch, it's like $300, and you can only get it in Japan. Got to give my shout-outs to Pillars of Eternity. It's a top-down, isometric role-playing game. It's quite beautiful. It kind of reminds me of that Torment game that I was talking about earlier. Very good one. If you haven't seen that, check it out. And the game I'm actually playing at the moment, just working my way through, Titan Quest. This is like a 10-year-old game. It's, in my opinion, would be the closest game ever to Diablo 2. Even more than Diablo 3, because that was a trash pile. Let's not get into that. But this game, absolutely amazing. You just go around building up your loot, armor, just look for different boss fights, and so addictive, so great. Anyway, so if you haven't played that, check that one out, guys. Alright, now let's move on to the next section here. PlayStation 4. I've got not much of a PlayStation 4 collection. I try to buy everything on Xbox, and then basically whatever's exclusive or left over for the PS4, I will get. Alright, so just showing a couple of good ones here. We've got Dex, which is a cyberpunk futuristic game. I showed that on a previous episode. Saturday Morning RPG, had to get it on the PS4 because Limited Run were doing a promotion there. One of my favorite games on the system, Persona 5. Never really played much of the Persona series, but it is really fucking good and underrated. I've only played probably like 3 or 4 hours of it. Digitally, obviously, this one's sealed, but from the reviews I watch, people just can't give it enough props. So, if you want a good PS4 game, definitely try this one, guys. God of War. You guys know about God of War. It's awesome. And, obviously, exclusive to PlayStation. Okay, so this would be my favorite PlayStation game on the PS4. Full stop. This is my favorite graphics I have ever seen in a video game. I don't know about you guys, but when they released the Unreal 5 engine the other day, I looked at it and I was like, it's not as good as Horizon. Hell yes. This is why I bought a PlayStation 4, if you guys must know. And yes, this is sealed, of course, because I have my other version over there and my other version here. That's the same game. Can't give it enough props. If you haven't played this, what are you doing? Go and buy it. See that 10 out of 10? That's accurate. Well, IGN's never accurate, but these guys are accurate. 10 out of 10. Absolutely fucking amazing. Alright, now what we got here, guys, is just a couple of NES games here. Addams Family, Flintstones, Fax Xanadu. I actually got these from Cash Converters. They're all around $30 a piece. Complete inbox NES. I don't actually have a Nintendo Entertainment System yet, but that is the last Nintendo system I need, other than the Virtual Boy, to have all of the ones that I want. Okay, so this is just the overflow of the Xbox One shelf showed earlier. But I do have to talk about one game. This game here, guys. Minecraft Story Mode. Now, don't judge. I'm not really a big Minecraft person. I did get into it and when it first came out, and I did the achievements. But other than that, I haven't really been playing it much since. But this is one of the most underrated games I've ever heard of. Honestly, I didn't expect much. I played through it, and by chapter 5, I was so into the game, I couldn't take myself away from it. And you know what? There's a tragic moment. Spoiler free, I won't say what it is. I actually cried playing Minecraft. Yes. I couldn't believe it myself. But when a story is told in such a way, it pulls on your heartstrings. It doesn't matter about the game engine or the graphics or whatever is going on. It's just about the story. So guys, if you haven't played Minecraft Story Mode, I would recommend going and buy this, because if you buy just Chapter 1, unfortunately, Telltale has had a few dramas lately and all of their stuff has been pulled from the Microsoft Store. So make sure you get this disc if you're going to play it, guys. But yeah, had to show some love for Minecraft Story Mode. Absolutely incredible game. Alright, now let's just move on here to the next shelf. Whew! This, just got some Gamecube. I don't really have much Gamecube. I only bought one a year ago, but I have been doing not too bad with the collection so far. So this is one of the harder Zelda games to get. The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. It's such an annoying one to play. If you want to do it properly, you need to have 4 people with Game Boy Advances all linked up at the same time, just to be able to play 4-player. But yeah, one day, I'll do it. One day. Just a couple good shout-outs to, you know, the other good games on the system. Obviously, Wind Waker. Twilight Princess, I don't have, but it is amazing. Super Mario Sunshine still hasn't been remade. One of the most underrated Mario games. It was a bit weird at the time, but it's really grown on me and it's incredible. It's like Super Mario Odyssey if you've played that. The best Smash Bros game ever created, without a doubt, Super Smash Bros Melee. If you haven't played it, go do that because you're missing out. And just my PC stuff here. So I don't really have much, as you can see. Starts here, goes to the Diablo 2. So Diablo 2, absolutely amazing game. And this game here, this is what got me into point-and-click adventure games. If you haven't heard of this or played this, this cost me $10 factory sealed, made by LucasArts in the 90s. It's a point-and-click adventure game where you play as this Harley Davidson rider and you've got to like go and save the girl, save the day, but just so much charm and personality to it. It's incredible. Yeah, recommend that one. I heard that they're actually remaking it for the Xbox, so I'm super excited for that, as this year is actually the 25th anniversary of this game. Holy shit, that makes me feel old. Alright, so just get that back in there, and then now, moving on to the Wii U section. Yeah, the Wii U didn't really do too well. This is basically the only game that's exclusive still on the system, other than Xenoblade Chronicles X. So, it'll just be a matter of time before that hits the Switch. But yeah, it's just a shame that the Wii U did so badly. Alright, so moving on to the next shelf here, guys. We just got like spare controllers. for the Xbox, for the Wii, for Nintendo systems, Smash Bros controllers, Digimon. They remade the Digimon, so I had to get one of them. They're awesome. And then just a couple of Wii U adapters there. Alright, and this shelf's basically the overflow of what wouldn't fit on all the other shelves. That's my favourite book there. One of my favourite TV shows, complete set of Pokemon. And Dragon Ball there. Just great. They're like the DVDs that I don't really want anywhere else because they're just going to get dirty. Super Mario Bros. The movie. Best movie ever made. If you haven't seen it, no, I'm joking. It sucks. But yeah, Mario. Okay, so now this is where all the magic happens, guys. Got the CRT for all the old games, obviously. Just running the Super Nintendo there. And N64. It's just, you can't beat a CRT for graphics. You honestly can't. It just looks so beautiful and crisp. And then for all my new consoles there, got the new TV, the big Sony, and just as many consoles as I could set up. So I got a few mini ones there, mini PS1, mini NES. That's where I get my NES fix if you guys are wondering. And a modded Super Nintendo from America with over 300 games on it. So that's really cool if you just want to play a Super Nintendo game on a high definition television, and it actually comes through really clear. Just got the Switch there to the side. It's a bit messy over in this corner, but just got my subwoofer down there. That's my aircon, usually runs through the window, but it is cold right now, so I'm not setting up that. But yeah, I basically put as many consoles as I could. PS4, Xbox One, PS1, original Xbox, Gamecube. We get the PS3, 360, PS2, the normal Wii, and the Wii U. I'd still got like a bucket full of consoles in the cupboard, but yeah, we don't really have the room unless I can kind of find a more creative way to put them there. But yeah, that's basically it for now. Got my R2-D2 beep boop down there. He's just chilling, yo. Got that from the cinema. Oh yeah, and as I said before about PC games, this is the Fallout Complete set. I never knew how amazing Fallout 1 was until I actually played it on PC. It's incredible. Like, the gameplay's not as good as, obviously, Fallout 3, but the storytelling. It's all about that storytelling. That's the collector's edition. Just a few, like, this is just a bit overflows of stuff. So, Dragon Ball FighterZ Z, or Z, if you haven't played it, that's a 2D fighting game with Dragon Ball Z. It's fucking amazing. So, check that one out. This is a mask from my favorite artist. His name's Sickick. Yeah, I seen he was doing merch. I never buy merch, but as soon as this went live, I had to jump all over that. And just ignore that Watch Dogs Collector's Edition. It's just to fill in space. Alright. Should probably start at the top of the shelf here. Just a few console boxes, just to try and make the place look pretty. Got my wall, or shelf, of mini consoles there. There's PlayStation, Sega, we got the Japanese. This is the Japanese Super Nintendo. Obviously the normal Nintendo, the Super Nintendo Mini, the Neo Geo Mini, hell yes. A lot of the Neo Geo SNK stuff is really hard to get these days, so I'm glad they did that. And Torment, Tides of Numenera, the game I wouldn't shut up about earlier, really cool. Just the collector's edition there, which I'm going to keep sealed. Just a random book up there. Morrowind, collector's edition, The Elder Scrolls Online. Comes with a really cool statue. And then my, I would say, favorite game of all time collector's edition is Ark. That's the Explorer Note pack thing. It comes with like a book and all that. Alright, best PlayStation game. Here we go, collector's edition. I just buy, if I get a collector's, I normally get a standard, and I keep the collector's sealed, so I can just play the standard. We have got the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition there, Mortal Kombat X, and Doom. And then what these are here, guys, is a Kickstarter. So if you back people on Kickstarter, they're always doing different projects, different things. But this is the complete Oddworld collection in one box. It's for PC, but yeah, happy to get all the games there in one set, honestly. And we have so many Xbox 360 games, it's not funny. I love getting achievements, as you guys may or may not know, and there is so many good fighting games on the 360. Hence, this fighting stick here, which is actually, as you can see, for the 360. Okay, so the next shelf over here, we have the big another collectors of Morrowind. There was a few of them that came out. Ghost Recon, I got that for like half price or less, so had to grab that one. It's just a really cool statue, but yeah, anyway. Game of Thrones, got it for the dragon statue. It turned to crap in my opinion. We've got all my N64 carts. I actually would prefer collecting box, but that's what we've got for now. And I've only named the doubles, if you're wondering why only some of them are named, so I know what to grab straight away and to resell. And just some random boxed stuff up there, N64 carts that have been given. The Wii collection. Now, the Wii was pretty good. Lots of shovelware, but it had some quality titles in there. You just got to look closely. PSP, one of my favourite handhelds. I didn't like that it only had one joystick, honestly. It pissed me off with a lot of the games. But thank goodness, once they came to the PlayStation Vita, they rectified that problem. Now the Vita is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated consoles of all time. It just didn't get enough love for whatever reason. But yeah, have to show my support for this. And one of my favourite games on there would have to be... I love me some 2D fighters. If you haven't heard of Skullgirls, it is an all-girl 2D fighting game. It's awesome. And yeah, like, it's just cool to get all your trilogies on here. Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly, just to play on the go. And Dragon's Crown, which I mentioned earlier. Odin Sphere, really good game. Persona, which I also mentioned earlier. Just some quality stuff on there. Alright, now moving on to my 3DS and DS collection. I don't really have much DS games, because to be honest with you, I didn't really get into game collecting until 3DS came out. And all I really had on the DS was Pokemon. I mean, let's be honest, they're the best games on the DS. But yeah, when I dug deeper, I actually did figure out that it is very worthwhile collecting for all Nintendo systems, because there's lots of hidden gems in the mix and you may not know or realize straight away. But yeah, lots of quality titles in there. I would have to say that my favorite game on the 3DS would have to be, I would say, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, because it's just like the Super Nintendo game, but it's a new story. Look at that. Oh, that cover. Whew, it's beautiful. They released a special edition console that came with this, but unfortunately I missed out on that one. Yeah, it's such a fun game. If you haven't played it, it's great. Alright. And obviously, yeah, they re-released Majora's Mask, which it's a lot easier and more accessible, because on the N64 it was a very hard game. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and obviously Ocarina of Time. My second favorite game ever after Ark. Alright, let's move on to the PlayStation 1 section here, guys. Okay, so just some standouts from the PlayStation 1. Heart of Darkness, really cool 2D adventure game. Amazing story, graphics, everything. I love it. Just some other standouts from there. I would say Road Rash. Really cool 2D racing game. You got to knock the competitors off their bikes. Lots of attitude. The Oddworld games, if you haven't played them, absolutely incredible. That's why I bought this set and kickstarted back to the Kickstarter for the book and all that sort of stuff. Just some other standout ones. I would have to say would be Parasite Eve 2. Now, I've not played this, but every single person that has a PS1 tells me to play it. So yeah, guys, I recommend playing it as well, from reviews and what other people say. Okay, just some other standout ones. Crash Bandicoot. It's been remade, but this is my bread and butter when I was a kid. Holy shit. This is the best Crash game ever made. I don't care what you have to say. Deal with it. The Tony Hawk's games. Yep. Yeah, they're actually getting re-released, so that's cool. But yeah, best Tony Hawk game ever made. There's something with number 2 of games, they seem to get it right before they start going downhill. Okay, Pandemonium Series. Love this series. Oh, get out of here. Yeah, Pandemonium Series, guys. Grew up playing this one with my mom. Really cool, really full of charm. And the boss fights, it's a 2D adventure game with collectibles and stuff. Really cool fights. Yeah, I can't recommend that one enough. And these are just my actual recent game pickups here. But out of the recent ones, I would say play Monster Rancher if you haven't played it. It's like Pokemon, but you gotta train creatures and all that. And you can actually release all of the monsters from all the spare discs and CDs you have laying around your house. Really, really cool game. Can't recommend that one enough. And just a recent cool one I picked up here, which I have shown in a previous video. Harvest Moon, Back to Nature. Gotta give a shout outs to that. Okay, so now let's move on to my PS2 stuff. There's lots. I have a lot of PS2 games here. Not as many as 360. So let me just give like a shout out to just the maybe best 2 or 3 games as of late that I've picked up. Alright, so they're going to be just here actually. So, Dark Chronicle, really cool one. Yeah, Odin Sphere, really good game. 2D, boss fights, all that, you know what I'm into. Dragon Quest, The Journey of the Cursed King. This is number 7 in the series, I do believe. It's one of the better ones. Really cool for the PlayStation 2. Haunting Ground, hard to find, but it's a scary... It's like Clock Tower right there. They're very similar games. You're by yourself in a big scary mansion and there's all this crazy stuff trying to kill you. But yeah, really cool games for the PlayStation 2. But yeah, there's lots of hidden gems on there, honestly. Okay, so now moving on to, I would say, the most valuable part of my game room. And that would be the display case. Yeah, I'm still trying to organize it. I mean, yeah, it's going alright up there. I just don't like how it's blocked, kinda. But yeah, so this is like my Zelda shrine and my most recent pickup, or pickups. But yeah, eventually it'll just be a Zelda shrine. Down here we have my Pokemon Center. God, that's cheesy. But yeah, where I keep all my Pokemon games and all of my little collectibles in there. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of hard to show everything from all the angles, so once I get it sorted out, we'll be good. And this is kind of my bits and pieces cabinet with all the little bits and bobs of rare games and stuff that I have that don't really go together. But here they are. I've got the complete Elder Scrolls set back there, you can't really see it. Just some cool games I picked up from Vinny's back in the day. All the Final Fantasy games there, Shining Force, just a spare controller, just bits and bobs. You see for the Wii U, Xenoblade Chronicles X, not a bad collector's piece. Okay, so the bottom shelf, just a few bits and bobs, you know, thrown in. We've got the Ocarina edition of Zelda for the 3DS. Obviously Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Just my console box for the 3DS. And the controller I picked up the other day, which I don't really know where to put it exactly, but it's staying there for now. So that basically concludes the game room tour of all the main stuff. I hope you guys did enjoy it. It did take a little bit to make. And yes, I magically got changed. The power of editing, hey? But yeah, anyway, that'll do us for now. And I will bring you another game room tour next year. But until then, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye!